Welcome back to the Airman Harris Show. Happy Monday. Today we're gonna get into some boxing. We're gonna get into some college basketball. We're gonna get into some NBA basketball, my Golden State Warriors. But first, let me tell you how my weekend went with the kids. Y'all know the boys play in 3 different leagues: the field house, the church, and for the junior NBA. They had to miss a lot of games on Saturday because a lot of the games is at the same time, even though they're at different places. Just coincidentally, it just happened like that. So they had to miss both of their games at the junior NBA. Of course, I coached them in the church in the 8th grade league. They had to miss that game because they had the playoffs at the field house, and they went to the field house and played, and they lost. I wasn't there. LaBenny helped me out, took them to the game. I wasn't there with them. Sean, he said he didn't play that well. He said he only had 1 point. He don't know why he wasn't shooting that much. He don't know why he wasn't that aggressive. Even though their starting point guard wasn't there, he wasn't even the backup point guard. So I don't know. I don't know what that was about, but whatever. They lost that game. I made them go to that game because the championship game was on Sunday that they didn't make it to. So whatever it is, what it is, they lost that game. So their Mansfield league is over for now. We might play again this summer. That league is over, just like Kyra's school league is over. So now they just got the church league. The boys just got the junior NBA. Speaking of junior NBA, I'm not sure if they won those 2 games without the boys or not, because I was at the church getting whooped on because Sean wasn't there, DJ wasn't there, our other second best player, first best player, whatever you want to call it, out of him and Sean wasn't there, so I didn't have no point guard. Only had one guy that can get the ball up the court somewhat. So we struggled a little bit. We lost by like 17, but we learned a lot. A lot of guys got to play, being that those guys weren't there. Then I went to the girls' game right after. I recorded some of their game. Kyra had 4 points. Halo got a shot, but the girls did lose. But I'm gonna start being more. I'm gonna say going to more, but being more active at I guess the girls practice, because I'm seeing now the girls are starting to want to play a little more now. And the coach kind of, I get it, that's why I coach my kids' team. That's your son, that's your kid, you the coach, I get it. But, his kid is taking, getting a lot of brunt of the shots. And if we got 9 points and my daughter got 4 or 9, and then the whole second half, she don't even get a shot really, or she got some free throws that she missed, and that's on her own. But it was just like, we gotta move that thing around. She was open a lot under the rim, and I just, explained to her how to call for the ball, and you ain't gotta get mad at your teammates when they ain't pass it to you, but a way to yell for the ball, a way to call for the ball that everybody see it, and if they ain't calling it out then we gonna address it accordingly. But moving on from there, and they keep asking me to be mic'd up for the game. I might try this weekend. This past weekend, I just didn't have no time because everybody was playing everywhere, and I had a different game, somewhere else. So I might try this weekend. I'm not even sure what time the games are. I'm gonna try this weekend, and I'm gonna see how that go. And get some footage for y'all, because I ain't get much footage of. I ain't get no footage of no games. I got a little bit of Kyra and Halo, but that was about it. But moving right along to boxing, Claressa Shields put on a stellar performance, a shutout actually, 100-90 in her 10-round fight. To me, Claressa Shields the best ever, man. Despite what Laila Ali's saying, I get it. I know these girls are way better than the girls you were fighting. And I get it, times have changed how people want to say, but those girls that she was fighting were noticeably way out of the class of women today that are fighting. Claressa Shields have dominated every girl she done fought. She done beat all these girls. I know the age difference, would play a huge, disparity if Laila Ali tried to fight Claressa Shields, but I believe Claressa Shields is the best of all time. She put on a stellar performance. No, she don't get all the knockouts. I mean, everybody don't get knocked out, but it's boxing. It's hit and not get hit. It's where we get the cleanest shots, the strongest shots, the most shots, and Claressa always does the best at doing all of those things. To me, she's the best, despite what Laila Ali tries to say. Personally, for me, I still think to get that notoriety, to get more of that clout, I know she get, the little female boxing, little MMA stuff she was doing. I still think she should try to get on one of the men's undercards and try to like just fight on the undercard, be like a co-headliner or fight right before the men fight. I think that'll bring more attention, you know, to some of her fights and get her more fans. That's me personally. Speaking of men's fighting, we do know Mayweather said that Mayweather's about to fight Mike Tyson. He said after he fight Mike Tyson, he's actually unretired. He's coming out of retirement. We don't know how that's gonna go, but even that fight, I think Claressa Shields should get on the undercard of that fight just to draw more notoriety and more attention to her fights. That she, her female fights. Try to get on that undercard. That's gonna be a lot of people gonna watch that fight. Let me know what y'all think about that fight. Cause if Mike Tyson come out fighting how he fought Jake Paul, it's like, who would even want to see that again? Because we know Floyd is 140, probably 154 at this point, probably where he's going to start fighting at if he unretires and actually fight somebody. And we see how big Mike Tyson is, so how's that even going to be a fair fight? Jake Paul is way bigger than Floyd Mayweather, and we see how Mike Tyson was holding his punches and pulling his punches back and wasn't really swinging when he fought Jake Paul. So how's this fight gonna look with Floyd Mayweather? I understand they want the money. I understand Floyd may be in some financial troubles or issues where he need more money, probably because of, the lavish lifestyle that he's living. But, that's not my concern. But I'm more concerned about how he's going to fight, which probably not even going to be a real fight against a big opponent in Mike Tyson. So be on the lookout for that. Be on the lookout if Floyd comes out of retirement. If he do come out of retirement, let me know some opponents y'all think he should fight. Maybe Bud comes out of retirement if he gets a Floyd Mayweather. I mean, he want a big payday. If you want the biggest payday, go to the cash cow, Money Mayweather. So maybe we can get Bud out of retirement to fight Floyd, since really nobody else for Bud to fight, since he's already fought Canelo, and Canelo proved to be no match, for Bud Crawford. So maybe he comes out of retirement and, takes on Floyd Mayweather. Ryan Garcia fought as well. He fought Mario Barrios. Barrios lost. I think he lost to Tank. He drew with Pacquiao. So he had a lot of tough fights. He's pretty experienced because of the people that he's fought. Ryan Garcia, however, did whoop him. Ryan Garcia looked good. Hopefully Ryan Garcia is clean now. Hopefully he wasn't, on no steroids or nothing like that. So he is clean now, and he called out Shakur Stevens after the fight. Shakur was at the fight, so I don't know. I think the Ryan Garcia, he is cleaning this fight. Like I said, Ryan did look good, granted who he was fighting. Barrios was a champion too, so you can't say Barrios was, somebody he could sleep over, just walk over, because that was a tough opponent. Like I say, he called out Shakur Stevens. Hopefully they do get in the fight. I think that'll be a good fight. Two bigger names that we know, instead of them just fighting people that we don't know. Hopefully them two do fight. Shakur always calling people out. We know Ryan never backs down from anybody. I'm happy he did put on a good fight, because I've been seeing him, doing his podcasting lately, which I don't blame him, because a lot of money in that podcasting. I mean, not podcasting, streaming, excuse me. We do a lot of streaming lately, and there's a lot of money in that streaming, so I get it. And I'm happy his focus is still on boxing. Speaking of streaming, I did see Krishan Rock on his stream, and they was, doing some boxing, doing a little pad work. And she is trying to, step over into boxing. We know Krishan Rock, does fight a lot of reality shows. She does look like she have an athletic background, so we'll see how she do once she start fighting and how she do in her first fight. But moving right along to college basketball, y'all. We did see the number 1 and the number 2 teams go down over the weekend. We saw Michigan lose to Duke. I guess they have no answers for Boozer. He had 18, 10, and 7. A lot of the top 10 teams in college basketball actually went down over the weekend. I think it was at least 4 or 5 of them. I do know the number 1 and number 2 teams did lose. And because Houston lost, Arizona beat Houston. Duke beat U of M. Moving on to them Spartan Dogs, man. We got the win over Ohio State. Cooper had a good game. Cooper had 20-11. Fierce had 11-8. Kohler had 9-10. Overall a group effort. Carr, he always get highlight plays, but he only had like 5 points this game. So, I don't know. Still be on the lookout for Carr. Like I keep telling y'all, I think Carr is going to be our X factor. I think Carr is going to determine how far we get down the stretch, especially when tournament time comes, when March Madness comes, when playoff time comes. I think our X factor is going to be Cohen Carr, because sometimes he brings it to me and sometimes he doesn't. Not saying that he's not playing hard, just sometimes, he's giving a little more offensive efficiency than other games. Sometimes you forget that he's out there on the offensive end. We're in tough games where we need a bucket or something. But like I say, we do have Kohler, we do have Fears, we do have those guys too, do the offensive, to carry the offensive workload for us. But I think we're going to need more from Carr, down the stretch. So be on the lookout for that, y'all. But moving right along, before I move off of college basketball, let me know what y'all think of the Peterson kid from Kansas. I think I'd have moved off this kid. I know he's a great talent. I know that he is a potential all-star in the NBA if he can make it that far. But I'm not a fan of the kid. Subbing yourself out the game. I see him walk into the huddles. He just don't seem that interested. He kind of got that Ben Simmons attitude, but worse. Ben Simmons had kind of that I don't want to be in college attitude, but Ben Simmons was actually playing. This guy like taking himself out the game. He just seems so disinterested in college basketball, which is fine. But, man, show some integrity, show some respect for the game, dog. Like, you walk into the huddle, like, don't act bigger than the program. I hate players that try to act bigger than the program. That's why I like the kid at BYU. AJ DeBanster kid, because he plays hard every play. When I watch him, he's getting down on defense, he's learning, he's trying to, he's getting all he can out of it because he know, which we all know, this is 1 year for them and they out, so he's getting all he can out of it right now, and he's, relishing in the moment and getting the experience. This guy just like, take me to the league type attitude. I'm just here for the money. I'm gonna play a couple minutes, just get my couple million type of attitude. And, y'all know how I feel about, the NIL players getting paid anyway. This is one of the reasons why. That's a conversation for another time because I go on and on about how amateur players shouldn't get paid. But this is one of the reasons why right here because of stuff like this. But moving on to the NBA, LaMelo Ball been hooping lately. He had 10 threes last night. I think he had 37 points. Charlotte is still in 10th, but they moving up, man. Be on the lookout for Charlotte. I feel like they should have been doing what they're doing now, but they are moving up. They're on the up and up. So be on the lookout for Charlotte. They are climbing up. They one of the hottest teams out east, outside with the Pistons and the Cavs, maybe. LeBron and the Lakers lost to Jaylen Brown and the Celtics. Jaylen Brown had 32, 8, and 7. Brian did vouch for Jaylen Brown after the game, despite, Jaylen Brown having those comments about Bronny, saying he don't think Bronny, don't quote me on this, but I think he said something when he was sitting next to Angel reaching him in Vegas, something to the aspect of he don't think Bronny that good or he don't think Bronny is an NBA player or something like that. Despite those comments, Brian did still vouch for Jaylen Brown. And said he's, playing at the MVP level right now. Jaylen Brown should be in the MVP talks. Why Jaylen Brown isn't in the MVP talks is beyond me. So it's beyond LeBron, it's beyond me, it's beyond Jaylen Brown himself. So Jaylen Brown should be in the MVP talks because of what he's doing with the Celtics, with Jason Tatum being out. He's carrying those boys without his counterpart. To me, also, I think Tyrese Maxey should be in those MVP conversations because of what he's doing with Philly. He's doing the same with Philly despite what we got going on with Prescription P, Paul George, and what we got on with the process that should be over by now, in Joel Embiid. But they did take down Minnesota. Minnesota just about had everybody there and just Tyrese Maxey, so... But that's neither here nor there. Speaking of Brian, too, Lakers did put up a statue of Pat Riley, with his suit on, outside the arena. So shout out to Pat Riley and getting his statue. So moving on to those dubs. No Seth, no Steph, no Jimmy, no Porzingis, no Draymond. We don't need those guys, right? But no. Warriors beat Denver last night. Group effort. We are still in 8th place. We'll be 30-27. So group effort. These are good wins for us when we're missing all these guys. Hopefully those guys are resting up, outside Jimmy, who's not coming back. But hopefully everybody else is getting healthy, doing what they need to do to get back on the court. Hopefully these minutes and this time is providing valuable minutes for the guys that, normally comes off the bench or normally is a 5th, 6th option that are being a 2, 3, or 4 option right now that they normally aren't. So hopefully this is a valuable experience for them. So when these guys do come back, we can keep the ball rolling. We got to move up. We can't stay in 8th place. We got to move up to at least 6th place. By the time Steph come back, we'll probably have 20-ish, give or take, or so odd games left. So hopefully we can make a push once Steph comes back and, get the ball rolling, try to get up to at least 6th place because like I said before, trying to play in that play-in is cool if you get in the play-in, but it beats the older guys down having to play those extra games. And being a veteran team with Porzingis now, with Jimmy being hurt, but with Draymond and Steph being older guys, we know how that takes a toll on the players and we know what it does to them. But that's all I got for today, y'all. Peace.